When you think about a cannabis business that runs itself, what comes to mind? It may include you sitting on a beach and hanging out with your family, or something else relaxing. In this video, I'm going to talk about all the science of taking vacations and how to structure your team so that you can do it. It's one of the quickest hacks to create a more valuable cannabis business. So you're going to want to check it out. Hi folks, Chip Schweiger, the Green Leaf CPA, and I help everyday cannabis entrepreneurs build and grow exceptional businesses using the same growth tips that the big guys use. Welcome to Ask the Green Leaf CPA. In today's video, let's talk about vacations and why you need to be taking them. And while time off is often much needed to get away from a hectic work life, research also shows that it's important for your health. Whether you have 3 days, 1 week, or 2 weeks of glorious vacation time, doctors say that if you don't take advantage of this break from work, your stress and mental health will suffer. But for you, the cannabis entrepreneur, it can be tricky, right? Between when and how you should take time away to your employees knowing your company's philosophy on taking vacation time. Hey, if you're new to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell so that you'll always be the first to get my tips and tricks. According to a study done by Glassdoor, the reasons U.S. workers don't use their vacation time include their workload is too great and no one else at their company can do the work in their absence without fear that they'll fall behind. They worry also that they will miss out on participating in an important project, decision, or meeting. Now, in an inflationary cycle, they also may fear pending layoffs, so they may bank all of their vacation time to cash out should they lose their job. And oftentimes, they can't afford a vacation, so why take one? Or they feel guilty about leaving for too long because they think their team might feel lost or overwhelmed. And think about yourself. Owners often don't take vacations because you may worry your desire to take vacations may send the wrong message, or if you feel the need to constantly check emails or take phone calls while you're on vacation, you may ask, why bother? Interestingly, what many will find surprising is that in a 2018 survey, the majority of bosses agree vacations improve an employee's focus and alleviates burnout. And time off from work doesn't have to mean a luxurious cruise to Tahiti. Although, let's be honest, wouldn't that be awesome? It could mean a day here and there, an afternoon, or even a morning. What's important, doctors say, is to make sure you give yourself breaks so that you don't burn out. So here are some reasons why taking time off is good for you. You'll reset yourself mentally. I mean, this one we already know, right? You'll also feel way more productive when you return. You know that refreshed feeling you get when you take a few minutes away? Well, with a vacation of a whole day or a week, you can do a lot for your productivity. Another thing is taking time off helps you remember who you are. Taking time off helps remind you that you are, in fact, a person, not just this determined budding cannapreneur who grinds it out every day. You'll also realize that you need to stop taking work home. People are finding it much more difficult than ever to leave work at work, even if you work from home. And if that rings true for you, take a day off and break yourself of this habit. And lastly, you'll rekindle your relationships. Are you the type to push off dates with your significant other or a girls' night out with friends in favor of time at the office or in your dispensary? Well, if this is the case, you need a reality check. While work is incredibly important and it's wonderful to focus on your career, it's also imperative to your mental health to work on your relationships. So maybe you're thinking, Chip, I get it. Take time away, take vacations, leave work at home, got it. But my cannabis business is just not set up for that. How do I take a vacation or even a day away when everyone's coming at me with questions and comments and requests for approval? Basically, you're asking how can you take time off and still manage everyone to get the work done? Well, if those thoughts have crossed your mind, allow me to turn it around and ask you, how many people can one person manage? Harvard Business Review estimates the ideal range for an experienced manager is between 5 and 9 direct reports. Inc. magazine pegs the sweet spot at 7. The ratio of managers to direct reports matters because it explains why some companies grow and others plateau. Every business is different, but you can loosely think of a company's evolution as a series of stages with an invisible gate holding most owners from progressing to the next stage. So stage number 1 is what we'll call the doers, and this is when you have up to 9 employees. In stage 1, you direct a handful of doers. Now you need people who can follow your standard operating procedures and who can execute. And let me pause for a second. You know how important SOPs are in the cannabis industry. So if you're stuck on knowing what makes for good SOPs, just drop a comment down below or send me an email at chip@thegreenleafcpa.com and we'll get you a free copy of our ebook, The Definitive Guide to Standard Operating Procedures. But back to stage 1 and the group of doers. Your best employees will often be generalists who can do a whole lot of things reasonably well. They thrive on variety and they like the feeling of getting things done. Many owners get stuck in stage 1 because they fear delegation. Owners don't trust employees enough to do the work without their direct oversight. However, those owners courageous enough to hire some managers will graduate to stage 2. Now, stage 2 is what we'll call the manager stage, and this is really when you have between 10 and 40 employees. In stage 2 companies, the owner hires a small number of managers, usually less than 5, who are paid to ensure their direct reports execute. The emphasis is on managing against the plan the owner gives them. Good managers understand the process they are being asked to manage. They are detail-oriented and they stick to that plan. While managers may contribute to the plan, they are not usually responsible for creating it. Managers typically need their leader or the leaders to supply their plan, which is why so many companies stall out at stage 2. In stage 3, and this one we'll call the leader stage, and this is really when you have more than 40 employees. For our purposes today, let's define a leader as a person who can lead a team through more than one layer of management. Now imagine you have a sales leader who oversees 2 sales managers, each of whom have 5 salespeople reporting to them. The leader's job is to set direction and to provide a vision and plan for the managers to execute. They're leading a team of 12 people, the 2 managers plus the 10 salespeople, while simultaneously managing 2 direct reports. While most leaders can manage, the opposite is not necessarily true. Leadership requires managers to learn a new set of skills. Leaders need to be able to communicate clearly, delegate effectively, and create strategy. If you're stuck at stage 2, you either have 2 options. Either you need to hire leaders to parachute into your organization, which actually risks alienating your managers, or you can train your managers to become leaders. Both strategies are hard and time-consuming, which is why so many companies get stuck at stage 2. Now, for an example of a company that successfully managed the transition to stage 3, take a look at Acceleration Partners. Started by Robert Glazier in 2007, Acceleration Partners is an agency specializing in partner marketing, which is one of the trends actually that we're seeing a lot in the cannabis industry. Acceleration Partners is a people-centric business that helps brands reach and manage their influencer relationships. In the beginning, Glazier began hiring people to help him manage clients and their projects. As Acceleration Partners' needs evolved as the company expanded, Glazier was often quoted as saying, "Every time your company doubles in size, you outgrow half of your people and half of your processes." Glazier grew Acceleration Partners for 14 years, and by the time he sold it in 2021, Glazier had an entire team of leaders overseeing a group of managers who are managing the people doing the work. So if you're stuck, it's worth asking if you have the right people in place to take your business to the next stage. In the beginning, you're going to need managers you can trust, and to graduate to stage 3, you'll need people who can manage and lead. Some managers may need training, and that's okay, while other areas of your business may need an entirely new leader to make the transition successful. Something to think about if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you simply want to increase your enjoyment and your opportunity to take vacations. And if you want to learn more about anything I talked about in today's video, check out my website at www.thegreenleafcpa.com. There's a wealth of resources there just for you. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like, and if you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button and click the bell. And if there is something that you're stuck on in your cannabis business, go ahead and drop a comment down below. I get back to every one of them personally. Now, we drop new episodes each week, so that I hope you'll join us again. Thanks so much.